Alpha Money Strategies, written by AMS or Alpha Male Strategies here on YouTube. Does it measure up to other personal finance books written by like Robert Kiyosaki and Dave Ramsey? Or does it fall short in regards to the standards that the year 2020 has set? Well, let's get into it. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video produced by Financial Anatomy, the place where you can take control of your financial destiny. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing Alpha Money Strategies, written by AMS or Alpha Male Strategies here on YouTube. For those of y'all that are new here, this is part of a series we do on the regular on Financial Anatomy, where we take a financial book or a business book and give them a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, as well as rate how do they stack to other financial books in regards to a few factors which we covered throughout the review. As someone who has written an Amazon best-selling financial book, The Anatomy of Financial Success, I have eyes to see exactly what is working, what has value, and what is kind of fluff when it comes to financial and business books. And we review these books based on those standards. So if that's something that you're interested in, you want to be sure to subscribe if you're new, as well as like the video, because we do this on a weekly basis. Sometimes we even slide 2 reviews in every week. Now, in regards to what part of your financial anatomy we're working on, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but we are looking at actually 2 areas. Looking at your financial arms, legs, which is income, and your financial core, which is budgeting. And y'all might be wondering exactly why is the financial core in there? Because he does talk about investing. And investing, when it comes to personal finance, it does fall in the planning and budgeting area. The only exception is if you're looking to trade, but he doesn't talk about trading. So that's why it's not strictly just the income, which is your guns and legs. It's a little bit in the core, which is the budgeting aspect too. So with that being said, how does Alpha Money Strategies stack up to things out there on the market? Well, let's start with the overview. So the overview of AMS's book is financial freedom and mental freedom. And I say that's a nice take on this stereotypical financial freedom, because some people, they just equate this to financial freedom. They say, and he does the same thing in his book, Alpha Money Strategies, but they equate it to just having more passive income than their expenses, which means that they could stop working, and that's financial freedom to do whatever they want. But what if that's not something they necessarily like doing money-wise? Like they don't enjoy the work. Well, is it really, it ticks the box off as far as financial freedom, but are they really achieving mental freedom like he brings up right here? And in addition to that, he also brings up that by certain definitions, a homeless person has quote unquote financial freedom. And you want to make sure that this financial freedom, you have an income threshold that you've reached in regards to whatever it is you like to do. Like you like to go have nights on the town. You may like to go fishing. You may like video games. You might like traveling. Whatever you like to do on a regular basis, can you still afford to do that and not necessarily be working 24/7? He brings that element to it, and it's not necessarily anything new. I just appreciate that he does bring that up. So the major conduit of doing this is to find out what your purpose is and monetize your purpose so that you can live the life of financial abundance that you want. And that has kind of 2 sides to it that he goes to in the book. The first side is you're doing what he calls your purpose, and that should bring you a sense of fulfillment, and it fills that void as far as what you want to do with your life. And the second half is, hey, I'm making enough money to do the things I always wanted to do, or do things that I like to do. So you kind of have that balance. And I actually do appreciate that, because a lot of books, they kind of pick one side of the equation, but he mentions both of them here and gives examples as well as how you can exactly do this. In fact, there's a great parallel to AMS's story that really parallels mine. He talks about when he used to work as a bouncer in New York, making around like $30,000 a year. And by New York standards, that is almost like in the poverty. It might be the official poverty line, but it's very low by New York standards. I'll just say that. And how he found his purpose in getting involved in personal training, because he is always very intrigued or obsessed with like working out. And when he started taking it seriously, he got his certified personal training license. I don't remember what it's called, but he got certified to be a personal trainer and started building his clientele. And he talks about when he was building his clientele, making decent money, he would go to the gym most of the day and then get home and write like chapters in his first book, not this one, but it's another book on dating. And it's a great parallel to myself because most of y'all know that I have another channel called The App Lifestyle where I teach people how to make money with Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, that kind of stuff. And around the time when I started that, I also wanted to come out with a financial book. So I literally would go and do Uber Eats for 8-9 hours and come home. It's like 9 o'clock. And I would be writing chapters in my own book. So that's a very good origin story, like parallel. In addition to what we just mentioned, he does cover the art of like passive investing in the sense of once you do start making money, you want to start having your money work for you and set yourself up for, he doesn't use the word, well, he does use the word retirement. And he does talk about the Roth IRA, the different retirement accounts, which if y'all want to know more about that, you can check out my retirement account playlist. He doesn't mention the SEP IRA, which is something I find kind of interesting because a lot of what he talks about is like gold into self-employed people. So I would have liked to hear him elaborate or go into a SEP IRA, but that's just a nitpick. So with the overview done, how does it stack up as far as content versus like details, perspective versus giving actionable things to do? Believe it or not, this is one of the few financial books I've read that is balanced. I say it's a good exact 50-50. It's not spamming you with all these like details. It's like it's going to go clearly over your head and it's not painting enough context so that you can understand this stuff. But it's also not overly conceptual. It's like, okay, my perspective has changed, so what I do from here? Then the book ends. No, it actually strikes a delicate balance. I say it's one of the most balanced financial books I've read before in that regard. So the perspective is pretty much what I outlined in the overview, but then he gets into details as far as how to implement that. And for example, when he talks about investing, he gives you an example. He talks about it's commonly known as the lazy dog portfolio. He talks about investing in the total bond market, investing in the total stock market, and the total international stock market. So this covers the whole market, and he gives the ticker signs in the book. And he personally adds another index fund to the portfolio, the S&P 500, which is the ticker VOO. You see how he lays a perspective on investing, but then he talks about some actionable details that you can do to implement right now. That's the kind of balance he does in everything he talks about in the book. And I really do appreciate that. So is the problem that this book was written to address solved, or is it just like a lead magnet for something else? Now here's where it gets kind of interesting, I gotta admit. So does it deliver on its promise to getting you to financial freedom and mental freedom? Well, to some degree, no book can do that. You have to put in the work. But does it lay an outline for you to follow? It actually does. Now, there are certain details that unless the book was gonna be like 400 pages, which that gets kind of ridiculous to me. He couldn't go into every little minute detail in the blueprint I just laid out, but he gives you enough information to where if you put energy into making that a reality, it's a good foundation to get started. Like for instance, if you want to find out exactly what you want to do, well shoot, that might take a while. So he recommends that you do various things to kind of test out what your purpose is. But in the meantime, he recommends that you go get a trade in a high paying skill. Like that's good advice. And it's advice that it's not like, hey, well, this is what you should do. But if you want to know more, like go to my website and then do da 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 da. It's like the action is actually in the book itself. And one of the things that this book benefits from, he is not like a financial advisor or anything. I'm not knocking anyone who is. I mean, obviously I'm in the financial niche, so I have other products that I'm promoting aside from my book. But his main niche is relationships. So with that being the case, when he came out with this financial book, he really put everything in the book. So it's not like you go somewhere else to get more. I mean, you can watch some of his videos, but that aside, it's not like there's another financial product in the financial niche that he's going to trying to be pushing you towards getting. And I think there's a benefit to that because he put everything you need to get started in the book. So there's actually zero promotion in here. Yeah, there's promotion for his YouTube channel, but that's it. So I say that's pretty great. So in that regard, what ways are you going to be learning to make money from here? Actually, three: contractor, entrepreneur, and investor. I've already given examples of what he talks about as far as investing. Entrepreneurship, he walks through a lot of scenarios that he went through about monetizing his purpose. But when you look at it, it is strictly entrepreneurship that he's talking about. So there's a lot of good game to learn there. As far as a contractor, freelancer or contractor, they're kind of interchangeable nowadays. But he talks about how he built his personal finance clientele. The way he built his personal training clientele, and he did it in a way that it speaks like contractor, and there's a lot of information in that regard. So it gives some good information there. Now, it's not for making money as an employee, and he doesn't really get into like affiliate marketing or referrals. So if that's what you're looking for, this book isn't for you. So out of the 6 personas, which personas are these for? Honestly, I see the masculine personas getting a huge benefit out of this because of the way the book is written. It's very masculine approach towards finances. So that's the sniper, the builder, and the king of the hill. But in particular, this is a very target-like approach towards finances, and the way he outlines it is very masculine. And the sniper in particular, which I would say that's probably his financial personality, they're going to benefit massively from this. Just that target-like approach of do this, 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 and that's going to happen, and move on to the next target. Man, I will say the feminine personas, the conservative, the preserver, and the fame seeker, there's some for them too, but it's the way it's written is so masculine. They may struggle to grasp it all because it's not like very emotionally motivating. It's very result-based motivating, and that's masculine energy. So the personas that are masculine are going to benefit dramatically more. So if we were to match them up with the ways that you want to make money, if you're looking to make money as a contractor, investor, or an entrepreneur, and you're a masculine persona, which is the builder, the sniper, or the king of the hill, this book is basically written for you. I can't stress this enough. Like, if you're a sniper, stop watching. Just go get this book. It's written for you. So Elijah, what is your final score of Alpha Money Strategies? I'm going to give it, but I do have to mention something that will be confusing if I don't outline this. And it is going to cause a few points to be taken off, but he talks about intuition in the book. And the way he does it, he's not talking about intuition. It's not the right word for what he's talking about. He's talking about self-doubt. So he brings up that when you want to try something new, there's a basic instinct inside you that's basically saying, oh, no, man, that's going to take too long, or that's too much effort, or you don't know this or that. So you kind of talk your way out of doing it. And he's saying you need to go against that if you want to expand your means and your way of life. And that's true, but he uses the term intuition when it's self-doubt. I mean, intuition is really, I'll give you an example of intuition. When I walked away from my full-time job as a process assistant at Amazon, that was back in 2015, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but it wasn't like solid laid out game plan. I just knew it was time to move on because I had too many skills and too many things in here to just be wasting my life there. And it was my intuition that was leading me to do that. I just knew that phase of my life was done and it was time to move on to the next phase. That's an example of intuition. Now, you got to act on it, but that initial, like, I just know this phase of my life is over and it's time to begin this. That's an example of intuition. You can look up the actual word if you want to get specific. He talks about intuition, but what he's really talking about is self-doubt. So I do have to take some points away from that because some people will legitimately get confused. And if they read multiple books, they'll look at that definition here. They will get confused, and I just want to clear that up. But the final score, I'm going to give Alpha Money Strategies a 9.2 out of 10. I mean, I say it's a book that, in particular, everyone can get some value out of it, but I said the masculine personas can definitely get the most value, but I'm going to take that a step further and say that all men should read this book, because we live in a society where masculine energy, for the most part, is kind of meant to be suppressed, or you're being a rebel if you are too masculine. And the way he approaches things in this book, it's a rejuvenating feel of pace when it comes to masculinity and personal finance. A lot of financial books don't directly take such a masculine approach. And for that matter, a lot of them don't take a feminine approach either. It's just like they're there. The way this book is written is just so masculine. I think when it comes just to the psyche of a man, this book is very appealing in that regard. So every male should pick it up. In a way, I kind of see Alpha Money Strategies as the polar opposite of Money Magic. And the reason I say that is because you remember I said this will benefit the masculine personas, where Money Magic, the way it's written, is so feminine. It really benefits the feminine personas, the conservative, the fame seeker, and the preserver. I kind of see those as polar opposites, two sides of the same coin. And I would say that's a good thing. So if you're considering getting Alpha Money Strategies, you want to click on the link in the description below or the pinned comment. And full disclaimer, that is an affiliate link, so it does help the channel out. But I can't recommend this enough for males. I'm not saying that means it's not meant for women or anything like that. There's a lot of people that can get value out of this. I just know that people are going to get the most value is going to be men. And in regards to the 6 personalities, it's going to be the masculine ones. So with that being said, that concludes this review of Alpha Money Strategies. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It'd be much appreciated. And subscribe if you're new. If you want to know more about reviews that will be happening on the channel in regards to personal finance, once in a while we will do a business review. I will catch you in the next video. Don't forget to get out there and take control of your financial destiny.